Good evening, everyone. Today is September the 5th, 2019. It is approximately 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you are listening to the Digipire podcast. Today we are discussing on episode 21. We started our business series, and today we are talking about how to start a loan brokering business, a commercial loan brokering business specifically. On Digipire, we discuss everything related to making money in the cloud, whether it's investing in web properties that already exist and have been built, or starting your own from scratch. Whether you work in the gig economy via freelancer.com, if you are an Uber driver or a Lyft driver, or just however you make money in the digital economy, we discuss it. Today I'm going to go over some of the questions I had from episode 17, Sourcing Product, and you can find that episode at digipire.com/episode 17. I'm trying to catch up on all of the questions I had. I've gotten behind, so I'm going to answer 2 or 3 of them until I catch up. And as usual, you can find all of the Digipire episodes at their respective webpage. Like, for example, if you want to look at episode 19, you would type in digipire.com/episode 19, so on and so forth. If you want to hear all of our podcasts, you can listen to them directly on the website at digipire.com/podcast, or if you are on Android, you can download the Google Podcast app, Spreaker, or Stitcher, or the Stitcher app. And you can download those apps if you are an iPhone user as well on their respective platform. After I answer the questions from episode 17, I'm going to go over all news that is news in technology and e-commerce. Then I'm going to get with the main content, which is how to start a commercial loan brokering business online, because that is the main purpose, or the primary purpose of all of this, is to do as much as possible online. And as usual, if you have any questions that you want answered, you can ask them at digipire.com/ask. And I'll try to get back to everyone as much as I possibly can, though it may take a while. You can also do a search for whatever you're looking for on the website digipire.com to see if it has already been answered. So if you give me a few moments while I look at my notes, I will be right with you. So it's been 2 weeks since I last spoke to you guys. It's hard to believe it's been that long, actually. I did not deliver my message this past August the 29th on Thursday, trying to catch up on some stuff that I got behind on. You know, in this 24/7 world of business and life, we're just expected to be engaged and on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And sometimes you just have to disconnect. Speaking of disconnection, I was actually thinking about taking a cruise, because you're kind of forced to disconnect from the online world and focus on your thoughts or whatever is going on at the moment, because you just don't typically get real good internet access out into the middle of the ocean. I mean, you can, but it's very, very expensive. Last I heard, anyway. I'm sure it still is, and it's very slow. So you're not going to be real efficient out in sea. So anyway, I thought it'd be kind of neat to kind of forced to be disconnected from everything. the first, last, and only time that I was on a cruise was back in 2003, around October. And I remember really, really enjoying it. And for some reason, I just never went back on one. But I really enjoyed it. I got to see some places I may have otherwise not have gone to. I went to Belize, Merida, and Mexico, and got to experience some stuff that, like I said, otherwise may not have had a chance to experience. I remember it being very, very hot then, in Mexico especially, in Merida. But even then, in 2003, I was doing a lot online because, like you guys already know, I have, been making money online for a long time now. And it was hard for me to be disconnected even then. I mean, I had an email list even back then that I was sending emails to and selling stuff, and I just had a lot going on, and it made me very, very nervous. And I couldn't check my stats, couldn't check my sales, stats as being my traffic, and couldn't check my sales, and this made me nervous. But I did log on occasionally, but I remember it being very, very slow, and it just wasn't, it was very expensive. I'm not sure how much it is now, like I said, but you guys don't care about that. I know, but I just thought I would give you get a little bit of background information about your host, John Higginbotham, which I haven't been doing that. I haven't even been saying my name. Someone mentioned that the other day. They don't say my name when I introduce the podcast. I need to start doing that. So yeah, it just gives you a little background information about me, and that maybe you realize I know what I'm talking about. I have a lot to learn. I still have a lot to learn. I'm still learning. That's a never-ending process, but I have a lot to share with you guys, and that's what I'm doing every week on this podcast. So enough of my rambling. I will be with you in just a short few. Okay, so very quickly I'm going to give you this month's schedule of topics, and next week on episode 22 on September 12th, 2019 at 8 p.m. we're going to be discussing making money with affiliate offers. On September the 19th for episode 23, we're going to continue our business ideas series with making money with viral sites. And on September the 26th, we're going to close out the month with episode 24, how to drive search engine traffic without ranking. And ranking simply means ranking for keywords that you're targeting. So for example, if someone types in blue widget, you want your website to rank as highly as possible. So we're going to talk about that, how to do that without actually ranking for them. And you can see all of our podcasts, or listen to all of our podcasts at digipire.com/podcast. If you want to sign up for our email list to get announcements of podcasts or discussions where they have not been scheduled in advance, you can do that at any of the episode pages. Like for example, this one would be digipire.com/episode 21. I'll be with you shortly. Okay, now for the question and answer segment of the podcast. Once again, if you guys have any questions, you can ask me at digipire.com/ask, and I will answer them here. And I try to get back with everyone personally. Sometimes it takes me a while, but I do try to do that. So this is from episode 17. Yes, I'm that far behind. It is from the episode where I discuss sourcing product, where to buy, where to sell. And someone asked, do you recommend buying inventory on a credit card? And the answer is only after you've exhausted everything else. I would recommend, like I've said many, many times before, it's best if you don't go into debt to start something like this or to start a business. I would start with liquidating everything that you can on eBay or Mercari or Facebook Marketplace, and just liquidate, and use that money to buy inventory. I don't know, and then once you've done that, I would just do that. I've heard many people say, there's one lady that I can't remember her name that says that just about everyone has at least $3,000 in their house that they can sell, liquidate their stuff to get cash. And so $3,000 is a very, very healthy budget to get started in e-commerce. And I would not start out buying stuff to drop ship. I would start out, like I said, liquidating, and then buying inventory from suppliers to resell. So, yeah, I don't recommend putting on a credit card, especially initially, unless you can pay it off within a short amount of time, like 30 to 90 days, and that would be that. So, the next question is, okay, I answered that one. Okay. Can you get credit from the supplier to purchase inventory? So, in other words, do suppliers offer terms? Maybe if you're like a really, really big buyer or you're a big customer, I don't know. I haven't experienced anything like that. But a lot of them do offer buying things on, like, via a third party that will finance it for you. So, for example, Behalf.com will some of the suppliers, actually quite a few of the suppliers, use Behalf.com to finance your inventory. And again, this is not like a long-term solution. This is for short term, and you want to really do your homework when make sure I'm still online. Sometimes I'll talk, I'm not even on air. So anyway, you want to make sure that the stuff has the stuff you're buying. You want to research it very thoroughly and make sure it has a high turnover, meaning that it sells fairly quickly, because you want to get your money back as soon as possible, and keep turning that money over. So using credit, or even if you do get lucky enough and the supplier offers you credit, you want to be able to pay it back very, very quickly. If you sell on Amazon.com, if you sold on there for at least a year or so, and you do well with it, they will offer you a loan with very attractive terms, and you pay it off, I think, in 3 to 6 months or something like that. I think it's about 3 months. I can't remember. When I first started, I can't remember what they offered me when I first started. But it's a short-term loan, and again, you want to do your homework, and you want to get that money paid back quickly. You don't want to drag it out, keep going into debt. So you want to really pay attention to your turnover. Make sure that your research includes, making sure that things sell quickly, and so you can get your money back and reinvest it. You don't want to hold on to things that don't sell or take a long time to sell. And I've discussed that on the website, digipire.com, and I've had other podcasts, and I discussed it on episode 17. So if you want to revisit that episode, you can do so at digipire.com/episode 17. Okay, next question. Okay, you mentioned drop shipping. Is there any platform where you can't drop ship? Can you drop ship on Amazon? Okay. You can drop ship technically on eBay and Amazon. Amazon using their FBA program, if you ship inventory to them, and even if you use a supplier, if you want to ship directly from the supplier, they actually do allow it, believe it or not. And you can look at their rules at sellercentral.com/amazon.com/gp/help/external/2018084 So I'm going to go to this website and kind of give you the basics of their drop shipping policy and read you some of them. Be the seller of record of your products. Oh, well, let me start from the beginning. Drop shipping, or allowing a third party to fulfill orders to customers on your behalf, is generally acceptable. If you intend to fulfill orders using a drop shipper, you must always be the seller of record of your products. Identify yourself as the seller of your products on all packing slips, invoices, external packaging, and other information including or provided in connection with them. Remove any packing slips, invoices, external packaging, or other information identifying a third-party dropshipper prior to shipping the order. Be responsible for accepting and processing customer returns of your products and comply with all other terms of your seller agreement and applicable Amazon policies. Examples of drop shipping that is not permitted is purchasing products from another online retailer and having that retailer ship directly to customers, or shipping orders with packing slips, invoices, external packaging, or other information indicating a seller name or contact information other than your own. So if you're wanting to do something like arbitrage or buying from eBay and selling to someone on Amazon, you're going to have problems with that. And you want to be very, very careful with your shipping time. Like if your supplier is slow to ship, or give me a few seconds. I'm going to gather my notes, and we're going to go over all news that is news in the digital economy. I'll be right with you. Okay, now for all news that is news in technology and the digital economy that we are all living in. Okay, this comes from USA Today. It's also on TechCrunch. It's all over the web. But the title is, Thumbs Up, Facebook considers hiding likes to make you feel better about posting. It's reading it verbatim. Facebook is considering hiding the numbers of likes to others in posts, similar to an experiment it's doing with company-owned Instagram in several countries. Which, by the way, I don't think they're doing it in the States as of right now. I don't believe they are. The idea is to take away the popularity contest of posting, which makes people feel bad when their post doesn't perform with big numbers. According to Psychology Today, rejection in digital form, not getting many likes, can sting just as much as in the analog world. Among younger users on Instagram, posting becomes a contest to see who can get the most likes. Facebook wouldn't add more than that. It's considering the move, but social media lit up with the possibilities. I'm not sure how, I grew up in a different era, of course. Right now, it doesn't bother me. It definitely is a popularity contest. I think you have to be strong. Your mind has to be strong enough to not let it bother you. I don't get a lot of likes. I'm not popular, especially considering my social media accounts. It looks like I'm pretty unpopular. But I can see how it could really affect, a teenager, and it would definitely have affected me when I was a teenager, because I was lonely and shy and all that kind of thing. I probably wouldn't even posted. I think a lot of people are like that. I think I'm not sure, but Facebook is a big company. I'm not sure what it would mean for their numbers, and that's the important thing. I'm sure as far as they're concerned, how it would affect advertising revenue and their bottom line. Because in the end, Facebook is about making money, like any corporation, and they are no exception. So I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see. And they are like a lot of gosh, I can't articulate more what I'm trying to say today. Like a lot of technology companies, I think they're more socially aware than the typical company, maybe. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. They haven't done the Instagram in the United States, which I find interesting. And now they're wanting to do it on. Am I even going to make sure I'm live still? Okay. But now they're wanting to do it on Facebook. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll depend on how it affects their bottom line. and that'll be their main focus because they have to answer to the shareholders, as you know, a public company does. So yeah, that's Facebook. That's all news. That is news in Facebook anyway, in the land of Facebook. So just a second. Let me gather my notes here just a second. I'm going to take a short break. I'll be right with you. Okay, so actually there's one more piece of news I wanted to mention about Facebook, and this also comes from usatoday.com, and it is titled Millions of Facebook Users' Phone Numbers Exposed Online, report says. And another day, another data rupture involving Facebook, and again this is from usatoday.com. The social network may have inadvertently exposed millions of phone numbers related to people's Facebook accounts, according to a report on TechCrunch. The online publication says that an exposed server found online contained over 419 million records over several databases on users across geographies, including 133 million records on U.S.-based Facebook users, 18 million records of users in the UK, and another with more than 50 million records on users in Vietnam. That's interesting. TechCrunch added that absent password protections, anyone could access the data. Facebook issued a statement to USA Today in which it said, "This data set is old and appears to have information obtained before we made changes last year to remove people's ability to find others using their phone numbers. The data set has been taken down and we have seen no evidence that Facebook accounts were compromised." Those changes were addressed as part of a Facebook newsroom post on April 4th, 2018, by the company's Chief Technology Officer, Mike Schroepfer, in the aftermath of the Cambridge Analytica. Be careful, because we just never know, do we? Okay, that's all that I'm going. That's not all of the news in the technology, of course, but that's all I have the time to go over today, so I can get to the main topic, and that is having an online commercial loan broker business, and I'm going to go over that in just a moment. Again, if you have any questions for me or any ideas for shows or news or anything that you want to share, you can contact us at digipire.com/ask. And like I said many times before, I try my best to acknowledge everyone that emails in, but sometimes it just takes a little bit of time. I'll be right with you. Okay, now for episode 21, how to start a commercial loan business. Actually, I'm taking an affiliate marketing approach to this. You're not actually going to be brokering the loans, which brings me to my next point. Whether you need licensing or not, you'll need to make sure that that your state that you're doing business in or that you're marketing does not require you to have a license. And you can find out whether you need a license or not at, just a second, let me find it. Hold on just a second. I have it written down here. Which I'm not sure that you would need to, because you're actually being a go-between. Like I said, you're not brokering the loan. You're matching up an affiliate. Matching up an affiliate offer with the right market or the right entrepreneur. So like you're not brokering it. So I'm not sure whether you would need licensing. That's something that you'd have to figure out on your own. But you can go to nationwidelicensing.org to find out about business brokering loans, whether you need a license or not in your particular state. And if you're marketing in that state, you need to be aware of that as well. So before you even start on this, you need to take that into consideration. And so you're selling money. You are selling access to money, and it's something that all entrepreneurs need. You need that cash flow. Entrepreneurs need cash flow. It's the lifeblood of their business. I mean, since you're not trading in your time for dollars, it's a lot riskier than going to a job and getting a paycheck, whether you were productive or whether you made any sales or not. There are exceptions, of course, but typically you trade in when you're in that kind of linear income arrangement, then it's a lot more straightforward. So when you're a business owner, you don't know from day to day how much money you might have coming in. So you need to be very aware of it, and cash flow is paramount when running your business. So selling money is and should be an easy sell for you, and there are many, many ways that you can approach it, and that's something that I'm going to go over tonight, is how to find someone that will pay you to loan an entrepreneur money on the company's behalf, and how to find those entrepreneurs that would be interested in the product that the company that you're promoting with is trying to sell. And I'm going to go over that in just a second. Give me one short moment, please. So where do you find offers that you can promote? Again, like I said, I'm taking an affiliate marketing approach to this entire project. You're not actually going to be brokering loans. Affiliate marketing means that you are promoting someone else's business. So an actual business loan broker, you're sending them leads to their business, and you're basically matching up a market with a product. And that's going to be your role in this entire process. So once you find a lead, then you hand it over to the company whatever company you choose to promote. So in order to do that, you need to find a company that is offering I'm trying to articulate this properly, is wanting customers. I mean, you need to find a company that needs customers and is willing to pay you to find them for them. And the easiest way to do that is through a CPA network. A CPA network is a cost per action network. And it's a network of a lot of advertisers that will pay you for leads, that will pay you for emails, they will pay you for any action that the customer takes on their website. And that could mean entering an email, or that can mean applying for a loan, which is what we're talking about today. And I found two on maxbounty.com, which is the network that I recommend. They have been around a long, long time, and they pay like they're supposed to, and there's no funny business. I've never had any problems with them. And the ones that I've looked into pay $300 and $200 for the two different advertisers on that platform. And the one that's $200 is Kabbage.com. It's Kabbage, and the other one is Camino Financial, and they pay $300. But first, you'll have to get approved into the maxbounty.com and network. You'll have to have a domain and maybe a website to show them, and they'll want to talk to you on the phone. So you'll need to input all your actual real information, because they'll want to speak with you. Because they don't put up with any funny business on their network. So you can do a Google search for maxmoney.com. You can do a Google search for a CPA network to learn a little bit more about that. But like I said, you're basically matching up a product with a market. The product being the commercial loan that these companies offer, with a market, and that market can be in your hometown. It could be anywhere in the country that they serve. And, how easy should it be to give away money? Not give away, but to offer someone money. And I'm going to talk about ways to do that in just a second. I'm going to assume that you have already signed up for maxmoney.com and got approved, or some CPA network that offers a commercial loan product, and that you have a domain. And we're going to talk about how to drive traffic to that domain. Actually, I want to talk about first how to or what you should do first before you send it directly to their offer. You want to have a domain name. A domain is not the website. There's a difference between a domain and a website. The domain is xyz.com. So, for example, if your name is Harry, you want to give it your loaning money, Harry Money. Oh, that doesn't sound right, does it? If you want to say John Money, if I'm loaning money, johnmoney.com is the domain. The website is the content that I put on there. So you want to make a landing page on that domain, and you can do that through WordPress pretty easily, because you want to collect the money. You want to collect their information before you send it to the advertiser. Okay? That way you can follow up with them at some point. Very, very important. Oh, another thing that I mentioned that I was going to discuss is how much money you can make. And, when you're in business for yourself, the sky's pretty much the limit, depending on a lot of different factors. At $300 a lead, or at $300 a whack, someone getting a loan, it wouldn't take a lot of those to add up to a nice side hustle, And so, if you get accepted into Max Bounty, you have a domain, and if you have a nice network on Facebook, a social network, and do it that way, if you have a lot of people that are entrepreneurs in your social circles, you can give them your domain, and they can apply for a loan. Because selling cash flow to a business is not a real hard sell. It would be a pretty easy sell. You're giving them access to money, and that's something that all businesses need. You're not going to get dirty looks or leave me alone or you're bugging me or that kind of thing. I think it's going to be an easier sell than most things. Especially, this is geared towards the people they're entrepreneurs, people that need this kind of service. So, like I said, it would be an easier sell than most things. So the sky's the limit. If you made a sale a week, $300 a week, and you just worked the phones. You spent 2 or 3 hours a day on the phone, 5 days a week, calling businesses, calling restaurants, mom and shop restaurants, or even if you go to your local flea market and you talk to them, you work it that way, or just however you choose to work it without spending money, that can add up very quickly. So if you made a sale a week, that's $1,200 a month. That could pay your rent just by spending a few hours a week and following up. So it would be a nice side hustle for you. And who doesn't want money? Like I said, it would be an easier sell than most things. So, I would recommend that. I would not recommend putting a lot of money into this venture to start off with, because it's something that you can get started with very, very cheaply and inexpensively, just by using your own time and your own social circles and your own clout, I guess is the word I'm looking for. A good way to maybe get leads is go to flea markets. A lot of those people, or most of those people in that building that they're selling something, they might, depending on what they're selling, they might need access to cash to buy more stuff, or maybe they have another idea outside of the flea market that they have. Those people that are in a flea market that have booths inside that are paying rent are genuinely open to business opportunities or whatever. So that would be a good place to peddle your digital wares, your little side hustle of brokering commercial loans. And all you would be out is your time and your gas money, which you can deduct on your taxes, because that's another beauty of having your own business, is there's so many deductions that you can take. So yeah, the sky's the limit, but so you just put a number and you can work towards that goal. So if your goal is $600 a month, work that until you get $600. I mean, go to flea markets, make phone calls if you're not too scared to get on the phone. And if you are, psych yourself into it and try it, and then write about it. Write about your experiences. Journal your journey. Journal your journey with this project and let other people know, even if, or for your own lessons. I mean, sometimes you can look back. I'll journal on my projects. Anything that I dive into, I journal about it, and I go back and look to see what I had written. I look to see what I maybe could have done better, what I did incorrectly, what I've learned, what I know, what would I do now based on my new knowledge. Because so many details you forget. So I would recommend that if you start this little side hustle, that you journal your progress. At least, if not for your own sake, you can share it with other people, maybe on down the road, and turn it into an Amazon Kindle book or whatever. The sky's the limit, right? So yeah, that's if you wanted, that's to get started with virtually no money outside of a domain and setting up a landing page. And that's something that you can do inexpensively. So yeah, now we're going to talk about if you have a little bit of money to spend, then a lot more doors open up for you. I'm going to talk about that next after this short message. I'm just kidding. I'll be right back. Okay, so you've made some phone calls, you've worked your social media accounts, you've gone to the flea market, and you've talked to a bunch of different entrepreneurs, and you've made some cash. You made a couple $1,000s on your first month, and you don't have anything but your time and the cost of a domain and hosting as an expense. What do you do now? Well, I would recommend that you take half of that money and stick it in your pocket for a job well done. And then I would take the other half and do some advertising. And I would do that advertising. I would start, there's all kinds of different ways. But I would start, experimenting with billboard advertising. That's something that you can get started with very cheaply. There's a place called Blip. I think it's Blip Billboards. Let me make sure that's the name of it. I'll put all these in the resources section. On the show page at digitalpire.com/episode 21. All the resources that I talked about. Just give me till tomorrow to do it. And let me see. Show us what it is. Yeah, blipbillboards.com. And it's pretty neat. You don't have to have a big upfront commitment. You can start with $10 or $20, and you can advertise in some pretty big markets. They're all over the country. And I have a little bit of experience with billboard advertising. I didn't follow through with it, but I researched it back a long time ago when I had a cleaning business, and I can tell you that can be very, very expensive. I mean, it was $1,000 to get started back then, and $400 or $500 a month. I didn't follow through with it because it's something that I just didn't want to. I didn't want to spend the money, and I was doing cold calling at the time. That had better results doing that. But that's something that you could take the money and look into. Is billboard advertising. Find out through Google Trends where all of the entrepreneurs are. And for the market, the vertical of the market that you want to focus in, I would pick a market. I would choose restaurants, like small mom and pop restaurants, people that companies that require a lot of cash flow, barbershops, maybe salons. I would pick one and go from there and exhaust all of that. I would focus on that particular one. And then possibly do some banner advertising on the websites. You can get it pretty cheaply. I would stay away from Facebook because they're funny about advertising financial related stuff. So I would be very careful. I would tread very lightly there. I probably wouldn't even do it. But you can go to a place called buysell-ads.com and find places that entrepreneurs hang out there. And if you don't go, I would go through buy sell ads. I would have they have a wide range of websites that you can advertise on. And as usually you need to track results and test because business is all about testing and marketing, right? I mean, if it was easy, everybody'd do it, but you have to find your own golden goose. No one's going to tell you how to find it. You got to find your own, and the way you do that is by spending money and testing. And you can always go through the tried and true method, as in getting on the phones, making phone calls. You can, work your network on Facebook, just, your own personal network, talk to people, engage people that are wanting to get into business, and go from there. I mean, you can potentially do very, very well, even as a side hustle, because the payouts are so large. $200 for Cabbage.com with a K, and $300 for Camino Financial, and they each have their own requirements. So those are a few ways to get immediate results. Just be basically using paid traffic. There are ways. There's another way that will take a little bit longer to see some results. You actually can advertise on Bean.com and Google AdWords, but it can be very expensive to do that, and I wouldn't recommend that for beginners unless you have a lot of research and you've done a lot of homework on that matter. It's not for the faint of heart, because I've lost a lot of money doing that. You have to be very, very careful. You have to really know what you're doing. But if you have some time on your hands and you want to think long term, which you should be, you can start a network of blogs and get search engine traffic to those blogs. You could write articles, just write blogs related based on entrepreneurship and how to people that are looking to start a business, and create blogs around that. Basically a network you drive traffic to it, create your own little network that you advertise these two offers on, and that's something that you can do for long term, and that's something that you can pay someone else to do, or you can do it yourself. I highly recommend that you learn how to do it yourself. Then once you do that, then you can hire it done, because you'll know a lot more about it, so you're not taken advantage of or screwed over. You need to always do your homework. So, okay, that is a wrap on this. If you want to learn more about, if you want to see the resources that I've mentioned on this episode, you can find them at digipire.com/episode 21. And as usual, you can find all of our podcasts at digipire.com/podcast, or you can download them on iTunes, Google Podcast Network, Stitcher, or Spreaker.com, whichever platform you may use. Hope you guys have a pleasant rest of your evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful world of ours, and a wonderful weekend, whether you are starting it early tomorrow or on Saturday. I hope that you have a good one. I'll see you same time, same place next week. You can ask any questions of me at digipire.com/ask. Bye-bye.